Hi everybody, welcome once again to our Low on Health Rambling. Today is Sunday, November 28th, 2010. It's around 4 p.m. Just kind of go over some quick things. Been doing it, kind of been busy. Been busy a little bit this last past couple week or so. That's why I haven't been posting or whatnot, but no big deal. Kind of go over what I've done recently. Last weekend, I did some housework. One of my shower faucets was kind of leaky, and I spent the majority of the day trying to get that fixed, which was the usual, combination of fun and frustration as most house projects are. But the good news is it's fixed and it didn't cost too much to get it done. Then on Sunday, Darren, who I've mentioned more than once, has he threw a little rock band get together at his place up in Zephyr Hills, Wesley Chapel area. In which case I decided to go out there and kind of hang out, have fun, kind of relax a little bit, which was really cool. Basically had a good group of people, like a dozen or so people there. It was really cool because, of course, I was the main drummer there. A couple people tried to do the drums and whatnot, but didn't really get into it. But it was a really cool kind of a little get-together of people. I love Darren's house, as I mentioned before. His parents' place is a nice, big, long, spread-out ranch house, and I really like the openness of it. Funny thing is, he has a new Xbox 360, which apparently my memory card doesn't work for the old Xbox, but that was just kind of a funny little nuance thing. But it was kind of cool because we actually did have, with Rock Band, you can actually have harmonies when people sing, so you can have more than one singer. And we actually were able to have multiple singers. We had almost 6 to 7 people playing on each session, which was really cool. It was just the usual me doing drums for 6 to 8 hours to blow out my hand eventually. But it was fun nonetheless, hanging out with Darren, hanging out with everybody. Some people from my Xbox Live friends list showed up, and it was kind of just a cool overall event to kind of hang out and relax with people. Then also kind of recently this week we had, of course, Thanksgiving. In which case, luckily my work gave me Thursday and Friday off, and we got to leave work at around 2 on Wednesday, so that was very cool. And for Thanksgiving, I did the usual, pick up my grandma, and then I went to my mom's for turkey and whatnot, and got a big old bag of turkey and other leftover food, basically, that I've been eating throughout the week and probably will be eating well into next week, which is kind of cool to have all the extra food and hang out with the family and whatnot. But that's kind of what's been going on recently, just kind of, different family fun events and whatnot. And of course, we got Christmas coming up, so things are getting a little crazy and whatnot, but I'm just relaxing overall. I do want to mention real quick some things I've been watching recently. I've watched a couple of movies. The first one I want to mention here is Salt, which is that Angelina Jolie film, which, kind of spy, counter-spy. I really enjoyed the movie. It was never really on my radar, but I heard a couple good reviews for it and said, hey, I'll give it a watch. And I did. And I thought a really good combination of action and, thought-provoking and, kind of a cerebral thriller to a point. But a very good film, and I did enjoy it. A lot of counter-espionage stuff, and really kind of cool. So I definitely recommend Salt to people if you haven't seen it or are thinking about seeing it. Definitely see it. I enjoyed it. Moving on here, I watched the new Resident Evil movie, Resident Evil Afterlife. This is, of course, the one that was all touted in 3D and whatnot. Of course, I just watched the usual 720p feed on it. And honestly, at this point, if you've been watching the Resident Evil movies, you know what you're getting into. It's not the best thing in the world, and there are a lot of just kind of slight nods to the Resident Evil universe in the past games. Like, they basically kind of just took 2 or 3 different character types from the newest Resident Evil, Resident Evil 5 that came out a year or so ago, and kind of just superimposed them into this movie. But it's still a good action-packed movie. I mean, really, you could probably just watch the opening disc. The first 15 minutes of the film is just fantastic, and then probably the last 15. So if you just want to get to the action, just watch that. And then, of course, in the middle you have the usual character, blah blah blah, zombies, blah blah blah. But I still enjoy it for what it was. I mean, we're used to how these movies are. So if you've been thinking about watching it, definitely just give it a watch. You gotta love anything that Mila does. I've been a big fan of Mila Jokovic forever, and I just think she's a good action star. Moving on here, the other movie that I watched recently was The Other Guys. This is, of course, the Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg kind of cop buddy film in which they kind of play the other guys. They're not the big highlight of the cop force. They're not the big action stars. That's, of course, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and Samuel L. Jackson are kind of the main guys to a point. But it's a very good film. I mean, it's very much a buddy cop film, in which case it's definitely better than Cop Out, which I thought just had a stupid plot. This one is just more human, basically more character-driven. You kind of get an idea who these guys are and just kind of what they have to deal with being in the background. But I definitely enjoyed The Other Guys and recommend it to any person. Definitely give it a watch. I mean, it does seem like Will Ferrell's been in a lot of things, and he has been in a lot of things recently, but I actually did enjoy this one. Moving on here, I also want to mention, on Thanksgiving, I decided to get rid of my GameFly to kind of cut back on money, and then I realized, hey, I'll swing by Blockbuster on the way to pick up my grandma and see what's going on. And actually, Blockbuster was open Thanksgiving, so I went to Blockbuster, saw their deals, and decided to sign up for their game plan. In which case, Blockbuster is $1 cheaper than GameFly, and it is through their store. So basically, I at any time when their stores are open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., I can go pick up a game. I can drop off whatever game I currently have and pick up a new game, one out at a time, unlimited. In which case, I thought that was a really good deal, and I just still do think it's a really good deal. And you can also use it for movies too, so like Blu-rays or DVDs. I can actually watch some commentary tracks on, let's say, Scott Pilgrim or Across the Universe or whatever other movie might be out that I haven't seen yet, which is very rare, but you never know. But so yeah, I basically got that like Thanksgiving. I picked up Fable 3, which was in my GameFly queue, and it made me switch from my GameFly. I'm zoom out here. Maybe the main reason why I didn't want to do my GameFly is because I had beaten a game Wednesday and I wasn't gonna be able to get a game for 4 days because of the holidays and things were on low availability. So I figured, hey, if I can go to Blockbuster and get games quicker that way, just because I chew through games so constantly, that I was like, hey, I'll try that out. And actually, since then, I've gotten beat Fable 3, gotten beat Slaughterhouse, gotten beat Enslaved, and yes, maybe I'm kind of blowing through them and I'm not achievement farming them like I used to because I can always just go back and get a new game. The one issue I kind of ran into today is I went there to get another game to play because I beat Enslaved, and I was like, I realized that their selection isn't the best in the world. They don't have a lot of nuanced games. They didn't have like Hawks 2 or the new Naruto game or a bunch of other games that GameFly has, but they have low availability. So the cool thing about, of course, Blockbuster is I could pick up like a Call of Duty or I could pick up a Borderlands and play it just for that night with the guys. This Blockbuster is like kind of on my normal route from work and whatnot, so that's kind of cool. I can just keep constantly going there and getting new games. I could also play through their whole catalog. There's still a bunch of games there. I haven't played all of them, and I could actually just go through it and play all of them and kind of just play more games. But it is kind of weird that they don't have every little nuanced type of game, all the smaller games, not the big budget games. And I can understand why they're doing it. They're Blockbuster. They can't do as much as they used to, and that is kind of just a bad thing right now, where GameFly has a wider selection, but I can probably play more games through the Blockbuster. And I mean, if I had stuck with GameFly and not done Blockbuster, I would have been able to play anything this weekend, and I was able to play and beat 3 games, in which case I can always go back to those games quickly and easily through Blockbuster. So it's going to be an interesting thing. I think it's going to be good for some of the new releases. It's not going to be great because I'm not going to be able to get all the games I want to play, and maybe at some point I will go back to GameFly to kind of circumvent that, but for right now, I think that's the best deal for me. It is cheaper than GameFly, and I can actually play more for the time being. So I'm probably going to stick with Blockbuster for a while. I still recommend GameFly to people, and I'm just now trying Blockbuster for a while until I get all my movie viewing and gaming out of there, until I play almost probably every game they have there for the 360, and then, maybe moving on to the DS and whatnot. But I just like it because I chew through games so much that GameFly is still a great great option. It's just with their availability, if I could definitely know that they're going to ship me that game right off the bat, then I would do it. But I don't like having that downtime of not having a new game. But other than that, that's just me complaining about gaming, which is not really complaining. It's just a lot of people wish they had that much time to play video games, and it is kind of borderline becoming an addiction to a point, but whatever. But as always, I like to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening to my ramblings and whatnot, and I will catch you next time.